What is up, guys? Dan from the Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to show you guys how to glitch purple zones regardless of zone drops or stock coverage calls. On top of that, we're going to be adding to our Dallas Cowboys gun wide trips game plan here on the YouTube channel. But before we get into the video, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys take the time to hit that notification bell so you're notified every time of an upload here on the Zan Madden YouTube channel. If you guys want to take your game to the next level, Madden 21, check out my strategy site, gridirongameplans.gg. Gridiron Game Plans is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault update, we take a look at the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players on the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counter those metas when you face them in online head-to-head gameplay. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every offensive and defensive game plan released on the website while your subscription is active. And today is actually a big day as we just released my San Francisco 49ers single back ace game plan with over 100 minutes of content out of far and away the most complete offensive run scheme of any single formation in any single playbook in all of Madden 21. On top of that, we got coverage beaters that beat man or zone, doesn't matter what type of zone. We can take you up top for a touchdown. So definitely go check it out. It's right there on the website. $9.95 per month will get you access to the entire website. All right, guys, enough upselling. Let's get into today's video. Cowboy double ins. This is a continuation of our Dallas Cowboys offensive game plan here on the YouTube channel. If you guys missed any of the previous uploads, the link to the playlist containing all the videos that are in this formation is below. And as I continue to add to this playlist, I will update and it will grow. So this is an absolutely free game plan here on the YouTube channel. It kind of gives you a peek behind the curtain of what I do on my website. But this is all stuff that is forward facing for you guys to use and employ if you guys want. I think this is one of the better unique formations in the game. I love unique formations and unique playbooks, playbooks that have plays that you can't find elsewhere. And that's really where, to me, I get my most joy out of the game, is finding the things and the routes that just aren't found widely in the game. We broke down Cowboy wide drag, which is a phenomenal play. Broke down a number of plays out of this formation already, so check it out. All right, so we're going to talk about glitching purple zones here in today's video. This will work against, zone drop as well as stock purples. But I love this play double in because it has a deep dig on this play. And this is a route combination that you can use in short yardage. I think that this is a great third down and 3 or 4th down and 3 type of call, because it's going to space the field on the wide side very, very well. You've got a route in general that, if you know they're in man coverage, beats man coverage very well. In fact, you should be using the backfield master in this offense. I know all of you guys are using that as well. Kind of going back to the vault, I actually put out a massive tip about the backfield master in this week's vault update, so definitely go check that out. I also put out a tip on how to manipulate middle thirds, which is kind of a must if you guys are running cover 3. Obviously you have a middle third on the field and purple zone, so if you guys want to combine that vault tip along with this this particular ebook, you guys can find that on the website. Really big information this week, lots of great stuff on the website. But let's go ahead and show you the setup. We're going to go ahead and put the middle receiver on a flat, and I'm going to put the outside receiver, you could leave him on the dig, but you could also put him on a curl. If you had a hot route master or an outside apprentice for Beasley, you could use the fade stop and smart route it as well. But I love the spacing of the trips against zone in general, because you're gonna have 3 points to your triangle when you're flooding zone. So you're gonna see here how this works. You notice how I can throw the B route, I can throw the A route, or I can throw the flat route. The spacing of the tight end and the flat route is really nice if you let the flat route turn around on the sideline. You can see why I would love this in a 4th and 3 scenario, because you've got a route that's going to be sitting right at 3 yards that you can throw wide open to the tight end. And then obviously you've got this route here in the flat that you can throw and turn up field for 3 yards. And if they were to play a hard flat coverage, this guy would have to bite down, which would leave this curl open. So I'll show you what I mean here. If I were to go ahead and play this here and shade my cover 3 underneath into a hard flat style coverage, you're gonna see how the spacing of this opens up a little bit differently. So you see here how A and B are both open on this play. So, obviously that's something that you could do. Obviously, if you don't like the ability to throw, especially if you're on current gen, obviously user locomotion on current gen is a little bit better. You could cover, maybe potentially get out when you throw this to you know, the A curl, like say you're using right here and the ball snapped and you want to get out here, there's potential for you to maybe hold Y and pick off that curl behind. So obviously that's a little bit more of a challenge as you play on current gen. So, you know, if you guys play on next gen, I think this route combo is going to be really good. But that's why I said that the curl to the outside player is optional, because if they were to sit on the route to the tight end, for instance, play, you know, like a hard flat style coverage, and then they sit on the tight end with Grugy or Hill, this is a situation where the dig is going to be really nice on the backside, because if they're going to lurk right there, that's going to open up this in cut on the backside to that route. That is why I really love this route combination. You get two routes that release to the flat, and then the tight end is going to turn around and show his numbers to you, which is going to make this really nice. Obviously, you could do this as well against, you know, stock cover through the purple zones. And this is really truthfully what this video is about, is just how well this manipulates, at least on the trip side. And we haven't even gotten to the real glitch here, how it manipulates these purple zones. So if they play purple zones here, notice how they drop out underneath the dig, and you've got both options in the flat wide open. So if they're playing any type of cover 3 with purple zones in a short yardage scenario, you're going to have both these routes wide open, which makes this really, really nice. Obviously, if you have a receiver that's got good agility, this is something that I would do, is I would let that arrow route, as I call it, the flat route, turn around on the sideline, get that ball out to him, and then try to turn up the field. You know, somebody super agile, a John Brown, you know, a Tyreek Hill type. That's really who you're looking at. Obviously, if you can make this throw a little bit shorter, that's ideal. That way you could, you know, turn it upfield. You see how that throw could be 12 yards out there in the flat pretty routinely. You know, obviously, if they are playing cover 3 and then they're playing hard flats, another thing that you could simply do with this play is just turn this into a regular curl flat and get the tight end out of there. This would allow you to, you know, kind of throw that ball to the B receiver right there. So simple spacing combination, a lot of combinations afforded to you by the fact that you have this unique kind of flat hitch combination there from the tight end. Now, I want to get into what I love about this play so much on the running back side. A lot of the focus in the videos we've been doing here on the channel has been to the trip side of the formation. I want to talk about this running back side. If they're playing stock purples on this play, you're going to notice that this fade route to digs is going to really pull this purple zone back far, like very, very far back. And this is going to open up this speed out to the running back so well, just an up pass lead. You see how that can easily be 10 yards on a simple check down. So, you know, you've got the ability to stress the flat on both sides. And what's great is you don't really need the numbers here on this side. But the real glitch of this, is what happens, and I'm going to go ahead and spy the rush off just to show this. What happens if you add a running back wheel to this play? And what ends up happening is we're going to pay attention right here to this player, Jones. If you do this against cover 3, watch how Jones is going to turn and play man-to-man on this wheel route. He'll turn and run up the sideline, and that's going to open up that 10-yard dig from the backside on the sideline, assuming you can hold on to the ball long enough. Again, we're not using any hot route master setups. We're not doing anything too wild right here with this, but this also applies anytime they set their zone depths. So let's say for whatever reason, you are throwing that little out route out of the backfield 1,000 times, right? And they say, all right, I'm done with that. I'm setting my purple zones to 5 yards. And they do that with the intent of taking away the running back route. That would work. However, the problem is that we could go ahead and take the running back out of this play. So let me show you first and foremost what happens if they were to set, you know, their purple zones to 5 yards. So watch how the running back, clearly I can't throw this ball. It's going to get picked. It's going to be incomplete. It's going to be trouble, right? So if you notice that they are doing that, they're spot dropping those zones in the flat, you get your running back into a wheel route. And I want you to watch now what happens. He's going to play that 5-yard depth, and now he's going to turn and run. Actually, right there, he didn't. And if he doesn't, you just throw the wheel. It's that simple. You kind of use it as a hard flat rule. But there are going to be times where, depending on the route combination, let me go ahead and get, hopefully, just streak those guys there. There are going to be times where he will turn and run. And if he doesn't, you see right there, finally he did. Take a look there at that purple zone in the left flat. This is where you're going to notice this happening. So you see right here, at first he's playing it. He lets it go back behind. I could throw the ball up at this point, but watch how later, once this running back gets to the point where it's like 10 yards downfield from the line of scrimmage, all of a sudden this purple zone's like, oh shoot, I need to play you. And he turns and runs with him. This is really, really prevalent when you actually use or face an opponent that has their purple zone set to 25 yards, which is pretty standard practice in our community. So watch this. If I were to do this exact same setup here on this play, we know that this purple zone is going to drop with that wheel to 25 yards. Let me spy the rush here just to hold on to it. You're going to see that it doesn't react like a hard flat. It's going to drop all the way back, all the way back, all the way back, all the way back. And now at this point, he's just in man coverage, and that's just a simple pass lead up on the sideline. So you see how that works in that regard. It will always convert into man coverage on the running back wheel. This is something a lot of pro players will do, is this wheel route out of the backfield. And they just know I'll either throw it because it's 25-yard right here, outside pass lead open, or I'll let it run downfield and pull that purple zone into man-to-man, which is going to leave everything on the sideline underneath wide open. So it doesn't matter whether it's set at 5 yards, 25 yards, 15 yards, he will convert every single time to the running back wheel. And the logic on this is that he can allow one vertical threat to go behind him because he's got a deep third behind him for help. But that second threat that goes vertical behind him, that's his responsibility because he's got no help. And that's why he ends up converting into man coverage, which is going to leave everything else on the sideline open. So while this tip looks like, oh, hey, the sideline's open regardless when you have a 25-yard depth, if you can imagine somebody that actually does a good job adjusting their zone depths, let's say that you have them set at 15 yards because they want to defend deep out routes and post routes and things that are, crossing routes across the field. That's a good depth for those. The flood play, for instance. That 10 to 15 yard out route, that's a really popular route, so people would set their depths to 15 yards. So here you go, 15-yard purple zone on the short side of the field. Of course, I could go ahead and run this play and pass lead this up out of the backfield and there's 10 yards, right? I could. Or I could decide, let's go ahead and wheel the running back, and I'm going to go ahead and manipulate, maybe we run the seam or whatever we want to do. Maybe you go with like a high-low flood on the wide side. Maybe look for the tight end low ball on the cut. Okay, that's not there. Now we go ahead and just kind of ad-lib, and that B route is going to cross in behind, assuming you get time. He's always going to convert into man coverage every single time. So, this is something that you can prepare for. You just know, okay, well, why? He's going to convert him into man coverage. Obviously, if you buy enough time that, you want a route that's going to hit on the sideline. So maybe that dig route takes too long. The pass rush is getting to you. Maybe you go ahead and run a slant because that slant's going to get across the field a little bit sooner. And that might allow you to get Beasley open. So you see right here, and there it is. He's going to turn, actually right there, the slant hit the sideline a little bit too quick. So you have to find the timing of that route that you need to activate him into, the man coverage. So, maybe it really is the dig. Maybe you set it at 10 yards instead of 15. Of course, a lot of this is going to be related to how long you can hold on to the football, but you see how that manipulation works. And of course, you don't have to do it out of Y trips either. You could do this out of bunch. You could do this out of nearly anything you want. So let's say I went into, let me see if they've got a regular bunch set. Doesn't look like they do. Oh, there it is. So let's say we're in bunch and I want to do something similar, right? Let's say for whatever reason, this is my route combo. That he's going to convert, and then there's the timing. And that's why this is so good out of like a compression-based set, is your ability to manipulate the purple zone and take it up the field, opening up that crossing route. So if you want to fuse this with a bunch type of approach, this same premise will always carry over. So maybe you do something like this against your cover 3. Hold on to the ball, wait for that wheel to pull, and if it doesn't, you throw the wheel, and if it does, you throw the in cut. Obviously right now the Bills offensive line really struggling with the Dolphins pass rush, but you see how the coverage responds to this route combination. So this is something that I think you can add. You know, in general, I wanted to present this out of the Dallas ebook that I'm doing here on the YouTube channel, just because I think it's a pretty good tip. I mean, here's an example where it works. There you go. So, you know, obviously this is something you could apply to any offense, or it's something you could apply here if you want to run this Dallas scheme. One last thing I kind of want to finish the video off with is, you know, if they're playing a lot of man coverage, there is big time potential if you have a high release, high deep route running player at this spot to get this route to get a really good beat press animation. It's one of the best beat press animations in the game. A lot of times it's completely unbumpable. You'll notice that players that tend to play, you know, a lot of man press, and then they have their safeties underneath into whatever zones, they do tend to struggle with this route. It just really works. It works off the line really well. It's just going to be a lob touchdown. So anytime you're facing man coverage that has no purple zone, or I'm sorry, yeah, purple zone or a deep half over the top, that's a really easy lob against man-to-man. Just really struggles. Go ahead and show it to you again here. So, you know, if you're facing any type of defense, obviously over G doesn't have purple zones, but if you're facing any type of man under defense, this is going to be a route that just cooks off the line for a one-play score. So make sure that you guys are hammering this as well. This play can still beat man-to-man pretty well. Obviously, man is something that we talked about in the double move video that's in this playlist as well. So if you guys are struggling against man, go check out that video. Guys, that is today's video here out of the Dallas Y-Trips offense. Hopefully you guys understand the premise of the manipulation of the purple zones and how this play works. Obviously right here, we had a video where the pass rush was pretty geeked against us, but in terms of how this route combination causes purple zones, regardless of their match principles or their coaching adjustments that you have set, to always run with that wheel, that's going to open up the sideline greatly. So that means your opponent is going to have to play double flat coverage to defend the sideline well in cover 3. If you guys like the video, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. Any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, drop them below. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Check out gridirongameplans.gg. Again, guys, it's been a huge week of content on the website, so hopefully I'll see you guys there. Otherwise, we'll see you guys right back here with our next video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab in. Good luck.